Hey, Tapsters. I hope that you are all doing well and that you really enjoyed this episode as much as I did. We were just old friends catching up, and you just are privy to that conversation. So if it's a little choppy and you just hear giggles all the way through, just know that we had a really good time. And it also led me to start thinking about, this journey hasn't been easy. But if I think about all the wonderful people that I've met, it makes it worth it. So just know that this journey that you are on, this business that you are creating, is yours. It's your journey. And although there are rough spots, find the joy, find the laughter, because those are the things that you're going to remember when you look back, is that you had a good time. Also, that you built an incredibly successful business. Oh, and don't forget, go to the travelagentpodcast.com/fam trips because I'm going to be adding a couple more. So I hope to have you join us on these amazing fam trips that are so much more than that. But with that, we're going to start the episode. Welcome to the Travel Agent Podcast. I'm your host, Aylin Blanco. I interview successful industry professionals and share my personal journey to becoming a travel agent. The show is for aspiring travel agents and travel professionals at every level. My mission is to uncover the universal keys to thrive in this business. Join me as I take a closer look into the life of a travel agent. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Travel Agent Podcast. Today, we have such a wonderful guest. She has been on the show before, and she just makes me so happy. But I'm still going to let her introduce herself. So the floor is yours.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Steph Lee. I'm the founder of the website Host Agency Reviews, and a big fan of the Travel Agent Podcast. So I'm happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. So what's been going on? Just tell me all the things.
Well, about travel or about my greenhouse garden I'm working on, because both are equally exciting.
Let's talk about the garden because I've seen the pictures and I'm excited.
Yeah. We've it's an obsession that really got out of control during the pandemic, and what we're seeing as the results is like I've got probably 15 flats of seedlings that I started. And so it probably equates to 800 to 1,000 plants. And I live in the city on a small city plot, but I just can't stop myself. I'm just like, it just seems there's like 100 seeds in the packet. Putting like 4 in just seems stupid. And so I'm like, I better do like 15. And that's how it starts.
I'll make sure that to put the picture
in
with your profile because it is wild.
I feel like an actual like gardener or something, or greenhouse owner, because some of my trays look really lush and full. Like through the years, I've definitely gotten better. And I'm like, this almost looks like one that they could sell at like a greenhouse.
You absolutely could. I mean, from the picture, I'm like, can I have a couple of them and start?
There's not enough. I'm sorry. I like anyone that comes by, or like there's a Vietnamese restaurant in the neighborhood we like, and the owner of it is also a gardener, and she always in the spring will be like, oh, here, Steph, like I've got a peanut plant for you, or like, and so this year we went and ordered food, and I had my partner Paul drop off like a bunch of plants for her too, like bok choy and Chinese broccoli, and it was I just really like giving it away, as like it's fun to grow them, and then it's like really fun to give them away to friends and family.
You're so sweet.
Yeah, so that's my side job outside of travel.
Awesome. So the side job is fantastic, and we'll talk about that offline because
yes,
I think I need some tips.
Yes, but
so
like,
what about travel?
Yeah, so travel-wise, we've got something really exciting going on right now. We've got our annual travel advisor survey, which we opened in mid April, so it's a few weeks old, but it closes let's see, June, April, May, June, mid-June. Okay, so if you're listening to this and it's not mid-June yet, that means you can still take it. And I'm gonna give the URL right now, or the website to go to, because there's a special one for this podcast. So if you go to har.news with an S/survey and then TTAP, the Travel Agent Podcast, in all one word. That'll take you to the survey. It only takes, depending on, it asks you different questions depending on what you put in. So if you're a new advisor and this is your first year, and even if you don't have any sales, please still take it, because we're gathering information on things like how much it costs to start up your agency. And then a lot of you are probably familiar with the site, and we publish that on to help people as they're getting started, to try to figure out like how much they can invest in the site, how much they can expect to make their first year, second year, third year, things like that. So it's for everyone, whether you're hosted or independently accredited, whether you're an employee, whether you're brand new to it. We want to hear from everyone. So we'll put the link in the show notes for you, and we would love for you to take it, because a lot of this data is used within the industry. ASTA's used it when they're lobbying within Congress. We publish it all for free on the site, which is, again, a really nice resource for people, regardless of how long they've been in the industry.
So all of that information will be in the show notes. And also, if you go to the Travel Agent Podcast resources, I'm going to put the link there along with all of the information about HAR.
Yeah, and there's a couple other things we're kind of adding to the site too. So there's we started doing the Friday 15, which every Friday at 12 p.m. Central Time, we do it as a podcast actually now, but it's also on our YouTube channel. And that's like a fun way for people to submit questions about the industry, and we answer them. So if you haven't tuned in to that, that's something we started earlier this year, or maybe last year. I can't remember. I'm telling
No
you,
worries.
the last couple of years has just been a blur. I don't know. Like, I'm so confused.
I'm sure everyone can agree with you.
I know.
I never know what month it is, what day it is. It doesn't exist.
Exactly. We're all bonded by the same, like, where are we? What just happened? Where did the industry go? Oh my God. Suddenly the industry picks up and we're all so busy. It's crazy.
It's nuts. So more about this survey real quick, because I didn't ask you, as far as like the number of people and like how you kind of reach out, like what's the process to be able to get this information? Because I think it's so important when you're first starting out to really understand like what your life is going to look like as far as, your cash flow.
Yeah. Let's put in the show notes. We'll put some links to some articles. Well, I'll put links. I'll send over some links to you that links to the surveys on our blog, so you can see all the information. There's a new agent report that comes out for anybody that's new, and it talks about a lot of the key points that would be important for a new advisor. And then there's the hosted one, or the independently accredited one, and they all have information on salaries and fees, who's charging fees, what they're charging for, how much they're charging for. And we break it down by niche. There's a lot of different ways to look at it. So I think people will really enjoy, if you're like data driven like me and just like to get a actual feel for things. It's a really fun to dig through the reports.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited because I think I looked through it maybe 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like there's a lot more.
Yeah, there's a lot of data in there. That's the one thing I will warn people about, is it's part of us wants to just put up like 10 really nice graphs and then like a couple summary sentences underneath to like make it really digestible. But ours is in-depth reports. So make sure you have a cup of coffee and are ready to dive in.
So I hear that you have a pretty big milestone coming up.
Oh, yeah. So 10 years ago, sometime in mid-May, Host Agency Reviews was officially launched, which is really exciting. So we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary this month. And yeah, it's just cool to think about. Before that, there were some places that listed host agencies on their sites, but they were like paid advertisements, and it wasn't very clear. And it was only if you paid that you got listed. And so it was really the first host agency directory out there, and the first, I think, blog that really specialized in explaining the travel industry and really helping people enter the industry.
And I tell people this all the time. When I Googled, like when I decided I was going to be a travel agent, because again, I didn't think that was a thing like
Yep.
4 or 5 years ago. Your site was the first one to come up, and like that's how I got started. It was so helpful.
Oh, that's so wonderful to hear. Like that's our goal. I was really frustrated before I started the site because we were having so much trouble with people not knowing travel advisors existed. And and we were also having trouble getting anybody into the industry. And so I was really a lot younger than most of my colleagues everywhere I went. And so I was just so frustrated though, because I was like, why aren't we putting this information online and making the industry accessible? Like right now, it's like people don't even think we exist. And, they don't realize that it could be this really cool job where it's flexible, where you can work from home, you get to travel, you get to help plan people's trips. Like we have a marketing problem here, people.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Because it's fantastic. I mean, obviously everything has its challenges, but getting started and learning all the information from your website was probably the easiest part of getting started.
Oh, yeah. There is kind of like, after people get their agency started and get set up, then like a whole new set of challenges come up. And that's really where the rubber meets the road, when you need to find new clients and learn how to do the booking engines. And it's like, oh, I thought we were getting close to being a successful agency, but I see we're just at the very, very beginning still.
Right. And you have so many resources. Like it's organized so well. And my story is not unique, because most of the people that I interview, like your name and your company come up so frequently. You
Oh,
have
that's
helped
so
so many of
cool.
us.
Yay.
So it's cool. It's cool to be a part of like getting to interview you about being such a wonderful part of the industry. Is there anything else really interesting going on with HAR, or just you in general? Because you're awesome.
Well, thank you. Besides the gardening, we've got some new releases coming out on HAR, which should be kind of fun. If just things to kind of add more context to the site. Like for instance, when people write reviews, so it's you can search by their ratings on reviews. But what's really nice is what we're going to be doing is adding some metadata to it, which means like when people fill out their review, they also fill out information like I'm still with this host, or I'm not with this host. I have this many years of experience. This is what my sales volume is. And so we're going to add that data and show it visibly on the front end, so it can give you a little more context about like, okay, this is a person that's in my exact shoes. They're brand new. They have, $100,000 in sales or $10,000 in sales. Versus if you're a 20-year veteran, you might put more weight into the reviews that are coming from people that have been in the industry a long time. And then along with that, we've actually been making quite a few reviews now, or updates. We started like putting things on there where people can do verified reviews, because we had some problems last year with some nasty spam on the site. And so now if people upload proof that they're with that host agency or the consortia, they can make it a verified review. We also have started to label some of the reviews that are older, just to remind people that these reviews are a little older. And some of the information may be out of date. And so there's a lot of fun stuff going on. We hired on a developer full time last year, and after parting ways with our other developer at the beginning of the pandemic, and it's been so fun to have someone to like see progress on the site again. It's really awesome.
That's so great. Like, in my background recently, I have been in the tech world, and so I see how important like having a developer like kind of
Yeah.
bring your vision to life.
Mm-hmm.
And being a business owner for a decade or
Yeah.
more,
Yeah. It's
it's a
crazy.
beautiful it's beautiful to be able to continue to grow like that.
It is, and it's fun because, all of you know from your businesses, it's like one of the best parts about being an entrepreneur is you get to have these dreams and visions and you can make them into a reality. Hopefully all of them. And yeah, the developers help make that happen because I am not a coder. And we we went and got a custom built website like a few years ago. Before that, we were on WordPress, which was kind of nice because you could find plugins to do different things, but everything was duct taped really precariously. And now with this custom one, it's a lot nicer because it does exactly what we want to. But the problem is, like, I can't make small changes within the site. I'm like, all I want to do is just like bold this or like change the year on this one small part. Now I have to ask the developer to do it.
I know, but it's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy with the site and how far it's come definitely in the last 10 years.
Awesome, awesome. Well, it was such a pleasure having you on. I know that you are a busy woman and you got lots going on, so I'm not going to keep you, but it was just an absolute joy having you on the show and just being your friend. I
Yeah,
love you so much.
ditto, darling. It was wonderful. I'm so happy to hear you're back at podcasting and yeah, it'll be really exciting to see things take off over the next couple months again.
Thank you for joining the Travel Agent Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Visit thetravelagentpodcast.com for more information about today's episode and other travel agent resources. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for new episodes. Until next time, continue to build a travel business you love.